Okay. Okay, so we'll start away Pandas journey today, and trust me, it is the most important library of entire machine learning. Entire, because from beginning till today, please mute someone. Somebody is unmuted. Think still unmuted. Okay, so from beginning since today till the end of the class, even you are working in an industry or somewhere, you are going to use it for sure. The Pandas is the most important library, and you will fall in love with it. It's that important. Means you can do data analysis, complete data analysis in this. You can do complete data exploration in it. Means you want to explore your data, find out what are the patterns, what are the correlation and everything, find out the relation between different parameters. This library will do for you. Even when you're talking about building your machine learning models, again, you have to use this Pandas library. So you have the capability of doing data analysis, data exploration, data visualization, machine learning models. All the time, this is going to come into the picture. Although we have seen NumPy, but trust me, you are not going to use that much NumPy. Most of the time, you are going to work in Pandas only, 99% of the time. Very rarely you will be using NumPy, but this Pandas has been built on the top of NumPy only. It has built on the top of NumPy, so it was mandatory to cover so that it has same mathematical capabilities as NumPy because it has been built on the top of that. So it supports the NumPy operations. If you import NumPy as NP in this, you will be able to use that. Okay, so we're starting from that. Why this is important and how it is important. So first of all, if you want to use Pandas, normally if you're using Anaconda Navigator, directly it is available there. Don't worry about it. It is directly available there. Okay, you have to import it. How? Import Pandas. Import Pandas. Simple, type import Pandas. And once you type import Pandas, you can directly use it. But if you are going to use it directly, you have to every time you have to type Pandas, Pandas, Pandas. So better create an alias. Most of the preferred alias is Pandas SPD. Pandas SPD, most important library again I'm saying. Okay, import Pandas SPD. Just execute the cell and it will directly execute. It will directly execute on the system. Okay, moving ahead. See the beauty of this, you will come to know why it is so important. Okay, normally what will happen that you will be working on machine learning projects or data analysis projects in your life. Then some data set will be there. That data set will be available in various formats, sometimes through CSV files, that is comma separated values, sometimes in Excel format, sometime in JSON format, JavaScript object notation. Okay, sometime in form of SQL query. Sometimes you have to fetch data from a HTML that is in a website. So you have to gather data from somewhere before you are using that. Okay, before using that data means building some machine learning model or building some insights. First of all, what you have to do, you have to get that data. And here Pandas is your savior. Pandas has the capability to fetch most of the files, most of the file types. Okay, so how do we do that? Let me take a simple example. I'm typing PD because I've created an alias of PD. If I didn't create an alias of PD, I have to write Pandas here. I have to write complete name Pandas. So I've used a created alias. That means Pandas will be now known as PD only. Okay, Pandas PD. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to read a file. Okay, so I will write PD dot read underscore, just press tab after it. Okay, so you can see various options are there: clipboard, CSV file, Excel file, feather file, FWF file, GBQ. Most of them will be something which you haven't ever heard, but these are available, right? HTML, JSON, pickle file. We will be creating this pickle file, don't worry. Okay, SPSS file, SQL file, SQL query, SQL data, table function. So see how many files reading capability is does support. Abundance amount of capabilities. Okay, so start from very basic. Let's take a CSV file first. Let's take a CSV file. Okay, so in this, what you have to do, you have to put your CSV file name, first of all, if that file is directly available in your present working directory. And by the time now every one of you must be knowing how I can know what is my present working directory. Simple. You have to type pwd, which will tell you present working directory. Okay. So if your file is available in the present working directory, for example, here C users tell, then you can directly put your name here. Okay. For example, let me go to my same location, C users tell. Okay. So I'm going to my system, C users tell. And if you can see that there should be a file known as Titanic. Yeah, there is a file known as Titanic. Although it looks like an Excel file, actually it is a CSV file. Let me show you. So if I right click it and type open with Notepad, and if you see it properly, there are different items like survived. Okay. After that, a comma, P class. After that, a comma, name. After that, a comma, gender. After comma, age, comma, something like that. Okay. Then you move to the next row, and then you do accordingly. You put, for example, this is the entry corresponding to the first entry here. This is the entry corresponding to the second entry here. Means as many entries that you have done here after the commas, do same number of entries here. Okay, so it automatically forms almost a tabular structure, and that's why it is showing in the your Excel file as well. These are, you can see everywhere there is a commas available, comma, 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 comma. Same thing has been entered. Same thing has been entered. For example, if you see that, where is the gender available? Let me count. First, second, third, and fourth. So after after three commas, you will definitely see male or female. So let me count. First comma, second comma, third comma. See, I received a male. Check here again. First comma, second comma, third comma, female. Again, first comma, second comma, third comma, female. Right? So it's a comma separated value, but you can see same thing in your Excel file as well. If I directly click it, see, directly I'm available in the tabular format in case of Excel. Okay, Excel is able to differentiate it. I'm seeing that. Although you can create same file in your notepad, just type the names, put the commas, and you will be able to create it. You can see it here. Okay, this is the comma separated value. Now everyone got, means the items are separated by comma only, as we just saw in this Titanic data set. Okay, so I want to read it, and it is available in the same library, same location that C users tell. So I'm going here and typing the file name. When you're typing the file name, either put a single quote or a double quote. Either put a single quote or a double quote. I'm typing my file name. Okay, if I have only one file with the name Titanic, I'm typing just TI. Okay, and pressing tab. So showing me all the options. This file is this locate this thing, percentage time, percentage one, but this is my desired file, titanium.csv. I will click here and done. Okay, this will be available. So let me run this. Let me run this. I'm able to read it. Okay, I'm able to read it. Right? I'm ready to read it. It's saved somewhere in the memory. But what I want, like, I want to create a variable now. Understand? I want to create a variable. Very much like earlier we created a variable. How we created a variable? Simple, like a equals to 3. Right? So what happened? At a memory location, 3 was assigned. Sorry, at a memory location, 3 was stored, and then a label was assigned to that memory location known as a. Okay. So if I assign a variable name here, so what is going to happen? Whatever data this is reading, this pandas is reading, it will save somewhere in the memory. And once you put a variable name here, and the most preferred name is df normally. I'll tell you why the df. I will tell you why the reason. Not mandatory that you can use any variable name. Okay. So what will happen? This instruction will read your data from titanic.csv, save it in a memory. Okay. And assign a label to that known as df. Known as df. Okay. And now let me run it. And if I want to check it, df will have same data. Will have same data if I run it. Okay, so I will be able to read it and I will be able to save it. And one important thing you notice that if I go to my CSV file once again and open it with example notepad, see, did I somehow mention that survived, P class, name, sex, age should be considered as column headers? No, I didn't mention anywhere. I didn't mention anywhere that first row elements that survive, P class, name, sex, age, siblings, abroad, parent, children, abroad, fair, these should be considered as column headers. No, I didn't mention here. But if you see your file, if you see your pandas, it has automatically taken them, automatically considered first row as header. See, all these things are available. Automatically it considered first row as a header, but it's your option. You can disable that. You can disable that. How? Let me show you. Let me show you how. So what I'm going to do, again, I'm copying and pasting same thing. So you can understand. Let me copy and paste it. Okay. And let me give the name this time df1. Okay. Put a comma here. Put a comma here. And there are several arguments this CSV will take. Example, let me press shift and tab inside. See, abundance number of arguments it can take. Abundance number of argument. If you see, can you see that? Abundance number of arguments are there. And the argument which is important for us right now is this one. Header equals to infer. Header equals to infer means this command is telling that automatically infer the header. Consider first row as a header, as a column header. Automatically it is telling, but we can change that because it's a parameter just. So I'm just copying it. See, I'm just copying it and I'm pasting it here after the comma. Okay. And instead of infer, I'm just typing none. Now see. Okay. I type none. And you can see it's a keyword. Once I do that, let me run it. And let me check my df1 again. You can see it has gone. Now your first row are no longer considered as headers. In fact, a different indexes are being assigned to your columns. Different indexes have been assigned to your columns. So it's in your hand. It's in your hand. Just simply use this header. If you want to take it back, don't worry. Come here, put quotes here, and in the quotes type infer. Okay, run it, and it will come back again. Hope you can see that. Okay, so you're able to see that very, very easily without any problem. Okay, moving ahead, let me check the data type of this. What is df1 is actually? What is df and why have they given the name df? Okay, so let me type type of df. And when I run this, it is returning that it's a pandas.core.frame.data frame. Okay, means this structure that you are seeing right now is known as data frame. This is nothing but a sort of tabular structure, a proper tabular structure. This is nothing but your data frame having a number of rows, a number of columns, we can say that. So when we are getting a tabular structure, this is nothing but your data frame. This is nothing but your data frame. Pandas support two kind of data types here. Rather, we can say data structures. One is data frame. Second one is series. We'll come to that in few minutes only. We'll come to know. So if we are considering entire data here, it is known as data frame. But if I type like this, suppose see df, see properly, df, and I put a bracket, this is like an indexing. It's like an index. And suppose I want to access any particular column. I want to access any particular column of this table. I need to access that. Any particular, suppose I want to access survive. So I'm just copying its name here, survive, coming here, put quotes, single or double, doesn't matter. Any quotes you can put, and within that quote, paste your column name. Paste your column name. By this, I will be able to access my individual column. Let me run it. As you can see, the survived data has come here, like 01110. You can see that same data is available here. Okay, but now check its data type. Let me check the data type of this. I'm typing type, and here I'm typing my same df.survive. Sorry, typing df, again bracket quotes survive. Ensure it's a case sensitive thing. Okay, so don't forget to put names properly. If you forget to put names properly, you will get an error for sure. For example, instead of that, if I type small s and type survive, right? Let me check its data type. See, I got an error. Immediately got an error. It doesn't find out of that. Okay, so let me change it. Even I put it wrong way, so let me put it correct way. Still it's wrong. Okay, it didn't find it. Where is survived? It's case sensitive. So ensure that the S is capital. So I am typing S capital here. Now see what I am getting. When I am accessing individual column of my data frame, these are known as series. These are known as series. I got a point. So what we can say, our data frame is nothing but collection of series elements. So this, if we consider as a alone survived column, will be known as a series data type. Okay. P class will be one series data structure. Name will be one series data structure. This gender, sex will be another data structure. Age will be another data structure. Siblings will be another data structure. Parents, children will be another data structure series. So means if we consider column wise, individual columns, identity, they will be known as series. And series are very much like a list. Okay, very much like a list. So whatever you can do in list, almost same things you can do inside your list. For example, this is my DF survive. I want to access its first element. Very, very easy thing to do. See, how do we access first element of the list? Remember, we put brackets and we put 0. Okay, so individually we consider series, they consider like a list only. So if I run this, I will be able to access first element, that is 0. Okay, like this. If I want to do access second element, I'll put 1. I'll get second element. If I want to select suppose 4 elements, 0:4. So I'll get the element 0 to 3. Fine. If I want to do slicing, suppose I want to select 0 to 10, but in a slicing of 2. So almost how you access your list, same thing you can do that. Okay, so we get an idea perfectly. If I use my data frame, and inside that, within the quotes, I simply type my column name. Okay, then what I will get a data structure which will be known as series, and behavior of that series data structure is very much like your list. Is it okay, everyone? Till this point, please. Any doubt till this point?
Sir, can you explain it again, sir?
What you want to know?
Uh, how can we get the first element and second?
Don't worry.
This thing?
Here to we're talking.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
actually, see what I just said, that your series is very much like a list. For example, I have a list known as L. Okay, and it is elements like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, then how do we indexing in list? Remember, how do we indexing in the list? Very much like I need first element, put 0 here. I'll get first element. Okay, I need second element, put 1 here. I'll get second element. If I need to slice, I don't need all the elements. I need, for example, need elements from these 1, 2, 3, means 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, then I will put 0:3. Right? So let me run this. So I'll get 1, 2, 3. Same way, as I told, the behavior of a series is very much like a list. So same way I'm using everything. Even you can do slicing here. If I put 2 here, I will get alternate numbers. Okay, if I put 0 colon and remove this colon 2, so I'll get all the numbers from 1 to 6 in a slice of, in a skipping method, one by one. Okay, so if I run this, I get 1, 3, 5, 1, then 3, then 5. So same behavior of indexing and slicing you can do inside your series. I hope it is okay now. Please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now see one thing. Now see one important thing. I typed df, put a bracket again, and now see, if I put one more bracket here, and inside this, I type exactly same thing. Okay. Only one column, but inside a list I'm using. Inside a list, I put it this. Let me run this and see what it shows. Okay. First of all, you can easily see that you have a header available here. That's not available here. It is available here. And these kind of structure you see where? See here, the column is not there. Okay, column header is not there. Here you are seeing column header. And see where we saw the column header earlier? In the data frames only. In the data frames. So once you put this list items here, it will behave like a data frame now. So if I check it, type of this. If I type this one, let's check. It will return a data frame now. Can you check now? It's a data frame, but just difference is what? I put these things here. I just put these things here. Is it fine? Please tell me. So ensure that in interview they may ask you. Okay, this is df survived like this. Okay, and this is df survived like this. Please tell me what is the difference.
Header column.
Okay, so they'll ask you, please tell me what is the difference between these two. So how will you answer? This one is what?
Series.
Very good. And this one is what?
Data frame.
Okay, so normally your data frame is a 2D structure and your series is a one-dimensional structure. Okay, this is your one-dimensional structure. Till this point, even a single dot, then please let me know. Till this point, then I'll move ahead.
Sir, can we access the row of
Don't worry, don't worry, we'll come to that. Everything we can access. Don't worry, I'll come to everything because we will needing that. If we are not able to access even, we will be able to access single element of this data frame. For example, I need this one. I need this thing 38, right? How can I reach here? By column and by intersection of rows only. So we'll not be able to do that if you're not able to access the rows. Don't worry, we'll be doing that. Everything we can do. You can, whatever you can think of in your brain, that is possible in Pandas. Whatever you can think of. Okay, how this, everything is available. Is it fine, everyone?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see. Till this point we have done. Now suppose, now it is clear what is series. Individual columns if we consider, okay, then those can be considered as a series. Very simple. And series behavior is very much like a list. Series are your one-dimensional data and your data frames are your two-dimensional data. Rows and columns. Yeah, rows and columns both are available. Now suppose this is my complete data frame. Okay. In this case, it may have large number of rows. It may be quite possible. Okay, how can I check? Just see, I typing here df.shape. Remember this shape function we also studied in NumPy. Remember?
NumPy.
Yes, we studied. That's why I told you it is built on the top of NumPy. So it is also available here. Let me run this. df.shape. Okay. See, it is what is telling me. This data set that you have used has 887 rows and 8 columns. 887 rows and 8 columns this data set is having. Fine. This very small data set. Suppose you have a data set which has billions of rows. And somebody said, please just tell me, looking at your data frame, example, how many columns are there? Okay. Just identify some patterns, means which column represent what. So if I type df here, okay, and it has billions of rows, okay, it will occupy a lot of space, right or wrong? It will occupy a lot of space here. If we are having some 887 rows, if you are having billions of rows, first it is going to occupy a lot of memory as well in loading. In the memory, it is going to occupy a lot of memory. At the same time, it is going to take a lot of that. So unnecessary when we just want to analyze how many columns are there, how each column look like exactly, then why we need to see all these things? Why we need to see this much data? Then for that purpose, you have a function known as head function. For same purpose, you have a function known as head function. What it does, if you don't put any argument here, it will give you top 5 rows of this data set. It will give you top 5 rows of this data set if I didn't put any argument inside the head functions, top 5 rows. Okay. So let me run this and you can see I got just top 5 rows. Similarly, if you want to see bottom 5 rows, okay, just type df.tail. It will give me bottom 5 rows. Okay, I got bottom 5 rows. You can see the number indexing as well, 882, 883, 884, 85, 86. But sometimes looking at only 5 rows, you are not able to make any conclusion. Example, I'm not able to put it what it represents or something like that. Let me see. I want to see 10 rows now. 5 rows are not sufficient for me. So what I will do, simple, use the same function, df head or df tail, whatever you want. Okay, and put here the number of rows you want to see. Any number of rows you want to see. For example, I need top 10 rows now. Okay, I will just put 10 here and execute it. I'll get 10 rows. Okay, similarly in the bottom, if you want to see bottom 10 rows in the tail function, just put the argument 10. I hope it is okay. Please tell me, is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now suppose I was able to access individual element very easily. How? I just pipe df and then I put inside survive. Okay, perfectly fine. Suppose I don't want to do analysis on complete data. Remember, I explained an example of machine learning yesterday where one column was not important for us. Do you remember? You remember that thing? We intentionally, I said that we will not be building our machine learning model based on this column. Yesterday, I gave an example.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Remember, it was a constant column. If you people were present, those who were present, remember, it was a constant column. So
Constant
that will,
column.
yes, that will not make any difference in prediction. Right? If something is constant, that will not make any difference in the prediction. So I dropped that. I didn't use that. So suppose, same way, I want to build a machine learning model, but based on a survived column. I'm just giving an example. Okay, P class column and suppose H columm. Just these 3 columns I need. I don't need other columns. I just need these 3 columns. Somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself. Please. Okay. So I need survived P class and H. If I try to put here, see, survived I have put here. Again, let me put P class. Okay. And third one I also put, suppose that is your H. Okay. It will throw me an error. It will throw me an error. Let me run that. Okay. Got an error immediately. But how to solve this error? Simple. When I'm trying to access 3 columns together, that means they cannot be series. Remember, they cannot be series. Series are individual columns. That means they should be data frame. So how can we convert into the data frame? Remember how we convert a single column into data frame? What changes we made? Anybody remember? Just we studied how we converted a series into a data frame. We did something. We just placed 2 symbols and it converted your series into data frame. Remember? Something we placed here.
Double
Square root.
hard bracket.
Yes, square bracket. One square bracket here and one square bracket here. Okay. And now run this. Check it. You are able to get the columns you want. You are able to get columns you want. So now you can save it somewhere in another data frame. Okay. Suppose this is a complete data set. You want to keep your complete data set with you, but you want to derive some columns from this data set. You want to derive certain columns from this data set for certain purpose. So you can save it somewhere. You can save it somewhere. And later on you can use it as per your requirement. Okay, so this is a data frame and we can put any we didn't put in any order. Remember, we put survive, then P class, we skipped name, sex, then we put age. Any order you want, you can put it. You will be able to get it. Hope it is okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So now moving ahead, a very important thing is happening. Sometimes you will be having, in this case, we have only 10 columns. You will be getting in a data set, there will be 200 to 300 columns. Okay, 200 to 300 columns. Will you be able to see those? Will you be able to see? Only 8 are there and it is filled up. If I am having 200 columns, I will not be able to see them, right? Then how can we make a confusion? So I should know what are the columns available there. What are the columns? So I can know very easily what I have to type, just simple df dot columns. Just type df dot columns and it will give you your column names. It will give you our column names. And now you can access any column name. Suppose I need first column name, then I just use it again. And I put a bracket here and I put a 0. Okay, I will be able to access it. See, survive. I want to access second element. Okay, fine. Okay, so now I will be able to access any element I need. Any element I need. And you should immediately get an idea. I'm able to access individual columns easily by indexing. So in future, if I want to make some changes to one particular column, then how can I do that? How can you reach there? Simple. You need an index. Remember, from this place, I got an index. Now, if I capture this inside, see, this is the beauty. You should learn. These thinking should become in your mind. I'm using my data frame here and let me run it. Can you see what happened? I got P class columns data. How I did that? How I did that? Simply, remember this thing, if I remove, okay, I'm getting the name of second column. Okay, and how we access individual column? We put this df, a bracket, quotes, and column name. Right or wrong? Please tell me. This is the way to access an individual column.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And
Yes,
this
sir.
df dot column name is already giving the name and quotes as well. It is already giving name and quotes. Then why do I put the quotes here? Just remove them and copy it and paste it here. I'm able to get it. Right? You have to think it that way. Okay, this is the thing is there. What thing where I can use it? Immediately ideas will come to your brain and that will come with the practice only. That will come with the practice. How can we access that? Immediately got an idea. Okay, P classes here. Okay, sometimes if I'll need it, I don't need to type it. And these can be your interview question. That's what I'm asking. They will ask you simple thing. They don't ask you in deep. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, fine. Now tell me, if I want to access it, I don't want to put the name there. What are the different methods that you can adopt? Immediately, you should be ready for the same. Immediately, you should be ready for the same. Okay, so I'm moving ahead. I hope it is okay with everyone. How can we access the column names? And these are very important because actually in machine learning, what will happen? These are known as simple data points. First data point, second data point, third data point, fourth data point, or we can say that. Okay, these are known as your attributes. Okay, these are your input. These are attributes. These all are your attributes, on the basis of which you have to make some conclusion. Okay, for example, somebody asked me from this data set, what will you predict? So I will say, like we look at Titanic data set is there, so many people died. So what I will think, okay, I will predict that on the basis of passenger class, name, sex, age, siblings, parent, child, and fare. I will try to predict according to their data. If that person is having these attributes, he will survive or not. He will survive or not. Here, basically 0 means he didn't survive, 1 means he survived. So I will make it an output variable. I will make survived as a output variable, also known as label. I will make it as output variable and I will make rest of them as my input variables. And we'll try to find out relationship between my output and these variables so that when I input P class is this, name is this, sex is this, age is this, sibling is this, parent is this, fair, tell me what are the possibilities? Will he survive or not? This is how your machine learning models work in reality. Okay, you will pass on, you will deploy your model, somewhere. Okay, and this model I will enter 3, this. And why everybody is rushing behind that? This is why everybody is rushing. For example, I'm an owner of a car agency. I used to sell cars. Okay, and I have few persons who used to call the visitors. Normally several people visit to the showrooms, but not everyone buy car. Okay, so I want to take their data. I want to take their data and I want to build a machine learning model. What are the probabilities? What are the chances that this person will buy the car? So that I can put effort in the right direction. If probability is showing, if the model is showing, he is not going to get that, right? Why should I waste my power? I should focus on the right direction. And my machine learning model is saying, this is the highest probability. It is a high probability, 90% chance that he will buy the car. Put efforts there, give them calling, try to contact them. They will turn back. But if you're somebody, your model is saying, that's why everybody's rushing, trying to save your manpower, trying to utilize your things properly. That's why machine learning is getting so much popular. Everyone is trying to adopt machine learning models so that they can utilize their resources pretty well. I hope it is okay. Any doubt, please? Till this point.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Now what happened? This file right now was in the same directory. Okay, it was in the same directory. Suppose it is in different directory. This is in different directory. So how can I access? Two ways are there. Two ways. Change your system configuration means, remember we imported a system file and I told you how we can change where the Python searches for the file while your Jupyter searches for the files. You can do that way. If you don't want that way, if you don't want that way, you can directly use that. Okay, what I'm gonna do now, let me copy it. Let me paste it and let me paste this file somewhere else. Suppose in D drive, I think I placed that. Let me check it is available or not. It is available. Same file is available now, but it is in D drive. It is in D drive. I want to access it. I want to access. How can I do that? Simple. Go here. Just specify the path properly. I'm putting D drive :titanium.cs. Just mention the path properly. That's and let it name it df1 so that we don't confuse. Okay. Let's try to read it. Check it. Just want to check. Oh, sorry. Just want to check first 5 rows. So df1 dot head. Okay. Sorry, what happened? Okay, markdown code. Can you see that? Now you get an idea. Just specify the path properly. You will be able to read your CSV files directly. Okay, and it is not the case that it is a CSV, so it will read only comma separated values. No, you can modify them as per your requirement. Let me take an example again. Okay, so I'm going back to D drive. This is my Titanic file. I'm opening it with the notepad. And suppose I'm replacing these commas with the @ or anything you want. Replace, because it is not always the case that you will always find comma separated value. You may find space separated value, or you may find anything else. You may find @ separated value. You may find hash at the separated value, means everything is separated by the hash. So let me replace the commas by the symbol known as @. Okay, so let me replace all. Okay, let me replace all. I did that. It has been done here. You can check all the commas have been replaced by @. Let me save this file. So I have saved this file. I'm going back again and let me try to rerun it again. Okay, because I made the changes. Let me rerun. Okay, it has run, but see what is going to happen. See, all the structure has gone. It is treating everything as one particular column. Everything as one particular column. Why? Because inside this, if you go inside this, it has been defined by default to read as a comma separated value. Comma separated value, but I can change it. How? Put a comma here and type keyword sep equals to. Sep means separator, equals to. Put a quotes. Inside that, put the separator that you want. In this case, what separator we want? Tell me.
At
@ right? I'm just placing there and let me rerun this. Okay. check please. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes,
You
sir.
can easily do that. You can very, very easily do that without any problem. Any doubt anyone is having till this point, please tell me, because these are very important. Okay. Same way you can read your Excel files. Same way. Suppose if I have an Excel file, let me check it. Or let me create an Excel file. I don't know, I have or not. I do have ITEST. Let me open it. Let me check it if it is there. Yeah, this is a file right now. Suppose I am having, okay. Let me delete this column. It is not required. Yeah. Whatever it is, let it be. Let me save it and close it. Just remember the file name. It's very big actually. So any other one which is available, let me see this one. Yeah, it is there. Perfectly fine. Table editing. But it is having too many headers there. Doesn't matter. It will try to find a problem there, but we can sort it out. Don't worry. But right now I want to make it simple for you. Otherwise, you people will get confused a lot. So let me create a table. Doesn't matter. Excel. Okay. Okay, I'm opening a Excel file, and you can type anything you want. Suppose 1, 2, 3, empty 4. Okay. In here I type A, B, C, D, then empty, then upon D, E, empty, F, G. Okay, simple file. I'm trying to save it somewhere. Suppose just PC and more options. Let me go to the D drive. Okay. Let me save as Excel. Anything Excel 90 2070 or Excel workbook, doesn't matter, whichever you want to save this. Okay, name it trial. Okay, and the name is sheet 1. Let me put it fine, perfectly fine. I've saved it. Let me close it. Let me come here and we can do same way reading. Suppose dfx name I'm giving, dfx equals to pd dot read. This time I want to read a Excel file. Okay, and where we have saved that, we have saved inside the D drive. So I'm putting D colon slash file name is trial. It will automatically complete that. Okay, let me run that. This is the way I read it. And what I want to show you perfectly, what I want to show you, one more important thing, you can mention your sheet names here. That is very important. I want to show you, you can mention your sheet name, because what is happening, whatever Excel file I'm creating right now, this is a Excel file. I think the name I gave is trial. This is my Excel file. Okay, so you may have one sheet, you may have second sheet, you may have third sheet, you may have fourth sheet. Okay, so when you will read the Excel file, you should tell the Excel file, out of these 4 sheets, which sheet you want to read. Okay, out of these 4 sheets, which sheet you want to read. For example, they may have a data as well. They may have a data and you want to access sheet number 2. So how we can do that? Simple. Mention their sheet number. Mention their sheet name. Whatever their sheet name, just exactly follow that. Exactly follow that. So we have an argument there as well. In the Excel, we can type sheet name. Can you see that? And just put your sheet name properly. For example, my sheet name is, if I come here, it's sheet 1 where the data is. Capital S, sheet 1. Okay, so you have to mention that properly. SHWD. Right? I just put this one and let me execute it. If your data is in the second sheet, you can read that as well. Is it fine, everyone? Please tell me. This is important. How to read different sheets. So you have an argument known as sheet name. Put that sheet name here. You will be able to get the data. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So we want to check it. We can check it. See, have a data available. But it has taken first row as a header. How can we change that? Tell me now. You know everything. How can we change that? We don't want our first row to be header. What should I do? I told you earlier itself, today itself.
Header is equals to none.
Yes, very good. Header equals to none. Run it, check it. Is it fine? And you can say that where the empty spaces were there, they have put a nan here. That is not a number. Where the empty spaces were there, it has taken a not a number. Okay, so any sheet you want, remember how to access the sheet. That is very important, how to understand how to access the sheet. I hope it is okay with everyone till this point. If any doubt, please tell me no. I'm waiting for your answers. Is it fine?
Sir, the sheet
Yes,
name
sir.
is a variable.
It's not a variable,
What?
it's your name. It's your name, whatever name you have given to the this file. For example, I change this name to my name. Okay, I name this name, I give into my name. Okay, so this sheet will be known as what? Praveer. Right or wrong? It's just a name, just a
Yes,
name. It's just a name of this. In that case, what I have to do? Here I have to mention instead of sheet one, my name. Is it fine now? I can run this. What happened? Praveer not found. What happened? Okay, let me save it. What happened is that there is some problem. It didn't save actually. Okay, let me save it now. Okay, Praveer has been saved now. Let me try again, rename. Yeah, perfectly fine. Now let me close it. Let me try to rerun that. Yeah, fine. Any doubt till this point, please, everyone? These are very important
sir.
things. Understand? This is what where people feel they study. Okay, I can read Excel file. Now, how to access second sheet? How to access third sheet? Because you never know in which sheet your data is. Okay. In fact, in future classes, probably tomorrow, we will see that we will have 2-3 tables in different sheets. We will combine them together. We will merge and make a one data set. We will merge them and make one data set out of this. Right? We're going to see that. Now, this is not the only case. Now, suppose I'm accessing right now data from my system only. I want to access data from internet. How? Let me open something. Let me open here and let me check Google. Let me search Titanic data set GitHub. Okay. And somebody is having this data set. Let me open it. Okay. And here is the data. Suppose this is the train.csv file. Okay. Now, if I want to read this data, I want to read the data directly. I won't be able to do that. So what I have to do, I have to click on raw here. Once I will click on raw, it will convert this data into your simple CSV format, comma separated value. Click on the raw. Can you see that? See, almost same file that was available on my system. Can you see that? Passenger ID, survived, P class name, sex, age, everything. It's on the GitHub. It's not with me. It's on the GitHub. And what I can do now, very easy thing. Let me just copy it. So if you're copying data set from the GitHub, convert into the raw format so that it convert into the CSV value, copy the path, go to where we were doing. This is not the one file, which file we were working. I think this is the one. No, this is also not the one. I
On
guess this,
title line.
yeah, this is okay. So let me paste it somewhere. Okay, come down and use a new data frame. Suppose df2 now equals to pd dot read underscore csv, and within the brackets just pass this path. Within the brackets, this path. Simple. Let me run this. Okay, and you can check now. df2 dot head. Same thing is available. It will be happening. It will be happening. Okay, and now if you want to save this, so you just copy it from somewhere else, right? You have to copy it from somewhere. It is not always the case that you should have files in the Excel format or CSV format always in your system. Not mandatory. If you participate in the Kaggle competition, right, then there will be data set available there. If you say, sir, suppose you give an interview and they ask you, okay, you are a participant in the Kaggle competition and you want to quickly build a model, what will your approach? You will say, sir, I will first of all download the data. It's not the approach. You can directly use that if that is in the CSV format and see how we are getting that without even having system in our data, but we can save that. Now, once we have downloaded, means we have gathered data in a data frame structure. Now we can easily save that data wherever we want, wherever we want. Example, what I'm going to type df2. This entire information is saved inside the df2. So I'm typing df2 dot df2 dot 2 underscore. See, you get different options. Means you are now saving the data from data frame to different formats. CSV, DEC, Excel, Feather, GBQ. For example, I want to save it as CSV data, I know, so I want to save in the CSV format only. I want to save in the CSV format only. So I click to CSV and here give the file name wherever you want to. If you will just put the file name, it will save in the PWD. If you want to save it somewhere else, for example, I want to save in the D drive again, then D:save. Any file name you want to give. Suppose I said GitHub data, GitHub data.csv. Okay. This is the file I name. I give the name and I want to save same data frame, that is df2, inside the GitHub data.csv. Let me execute. And if I go to my D drive now, you should have a CSV file known as GitHub data somewhere. Can you see that? I have a file here, GitHub data. See, file is available. Fine. So I have file with me. This is one way. It's not mandatory that you have a system. You have a data available here only. Now there is one more way. Suppose I have a website. This is the website. And you see its website has certain tables available. Okay? In fact, this is one table only, which is available here. It has some data. And I want to read this data. Okay? I want to read this data and bring into my data frame. This is available on a website. It's not a CSV format, right? It's a tabular format. You can see that. And basically it's in the HTML. You can see the file HTML. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this path. Going to the untitled, again creating a data frame. Suppose name is dfh. Okay, your df3. This time I'm typing pd.read underscore. Where you want to fetch data from?
HTML.
Yes, very good. Very good. You need to fetch data from HTML. Agree, everyone? Right? So just place HTML, put codes, and paste for URL. Paste for URL, run it. Okay, let me run it. Let me fetch the data. If site doesn't block me, I'll get the data. Yeah, perfectly fine. But what you will see, it's not a data frame. It will not be a data frame. Let me show you what happens. Is a data frame structure? Is it a data frame structure? Tell me. If it would have been a data structure, then it should have some column headers, at least indexes of the columns, and proper column should be visible. If you can see, it's a list. Check it. It's a list. If you want to check it, just type of df3. See what it is. It's a list, right? It has not fetched the complete data. Understand, first of all, it has fetched the data of tabular format only. And if you see how it fetches, actually you can fetch everything. Suppose you want to fetch this league champion, you want to fetch this word as well. Everything of this website you can scrap. Everything of this website you can scrap, but that can be done with the different tools known as Beautiful Soup or Selenium. These are different things known as web scraping. Here, what HTML will do in the read underscore HTML, it will look for the table class. It has been built, this website has been built, and there should have been some class known as a table class. So if you want to see that, go here and click on, right and click on the page, click on page source. Okay, this is your code of the data. This is your code of the data where the website is built on. You will see somewhere the class table where the data is residing actually. It's a very big file. Different classes are coming. Okay, this class is equal to BBR is coming. We have to be cautious. We could somehow skip that as well. So be cautious there. Class is equal to hover smooth. This is not the class what we need. You people, if you know HTML, you can understand we have div tabs and these things are available, right? Tags are there, different tags under which we can access that. If you want to become a good web scraper, you need to know those things. Yeah, table, class full table, class thread. This is row. Don't worry, let me find it. He'll find it for sure. A class table. If I'll search with the control F, then there will be a problem because everywhere there is a table, something like that. So I have to search. I'm coming. We have reached almost half. Or better way to search is that we can search any individual name as well. Okay, if I want to search, for example, any name from this, we have read that, but we have not able to read that. Don't worry. Let me search any name from the website itself. The name can be Jordan Adams. Let's take. Okay, Jordan Adams. Let me copy it and search in the view source. Control F. Press the Control F. Jordan Adams. Okay. Okay. Let me type. Okay, it is saved somewhere. Can you see that? It's Jordan Adams. So somewhere it looks for that pattern. Can you see? There is a class table which is available under which the data is saved. So it looks for tabular structure. So it will fetch only tabular data. It will fetch only tabular data, not other data. Okay, so HTML, if you are using pd.read_HTML, it is going to fetch only tabular data and pack that inside a list. So it is a one table, so I can check that it will have only one item in the list. If you want to check it, you can check it. How? df3 is my name. Let me check its length. It will have only one table. It will have only one table. Fine, perfectly fine. And we know it says a one element, only one element. So how can we access the first element of the list if it has only one element? Anybody can tell me? How can we access that? If I have a list, okay, and I want to access this first element, how can I access that?
0.
Yes,
sir.
perfect, perfect, absolutely perfect. See, so if I type df3 square bracket and 0, let me see that. See, you got your table. This is your data frame is. Now you can save it anywhere you want. Suppose I want to save it dfx or df4. Okay. Now you don't need to mention like this. Just access df4. See, and you want to save it to the CSV file. Again, the power is in your hand. Easily you can save that. I hope you people are getting idea and enjoying this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, this is the way we create our data sets, right? Fetch from anywhere, this place, this place, this place. So df4, what I can do, I can use df4 dot to underscore, sorry, CSV. And again, suppose I'm saving in the D drive. So path D:/, and suppose this is basketball analysis, basketball.csv. Okay. So I fetch from the internet. I want to save it for the later use. I just did that, run that, and it has been saved. You want to check it, you can go to the D drive. There should be a file known as basketball. Somewhere here itself. Yeah, basketball. It is available. Let me check. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
If there would have been multiple tables in your page, then it will get many elements in the list, 0, 1, 2, 3. So you can access each individual table by their index, like 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. Get an idea or not? So you can access, if a page is having multiple tables, don't worry. It will pack inside the list in terms of different elements. 0 will be first table, 1 will be second table, third will be third table, fourth will be accordingly, so on. You can access those elements. Any doubt till this point? Anyone, please?
No, sir. No doubt.
Others, please.
No, sir.
Great. Okay. Now suppose I want to know data types of each column. Data types of each column. Anything. Suppose what is my df? Let me check df.head. What is my df.head? df is my data frame which I created earlier. Titanic data set. Okay. I want to check the data type of each individual column. What it is. That will be very much mandatory, because what is happening that, remember, we created a Excel table, and there we were getting some names, missing value. These are known as missing values, and it can be due to any reasons. Suppose in early, if somebody gave me the task, complete this task, and second task is waiting for you. I am typing anything in hurry, so I may miss some values, right? So you have to treat this missing values. You have to treat this value missing values, and there are certain rules how to treat with the missing values. One way is to remove all the missing values, but that way is the loss of data. And second way is imputation. Imputation means replacing these mean values by some values like mean, median, and mode. Okay, and there are certain rules for a different variety of data. You have to use this kind of imputation. For this kind of data, you have to use this kind of imputation. So until you don't know what is my data type of each column, you will not be able to do that. So how can we do that? How can we access the data type of individual column? Simple, very simple, right? What I have to do? I have to simply type df dot, remember this thing, please. It is very important. D types. df dot D types. Let me run this. Okay, and it immediately thrown me. The survived column is integer in a 64-bit format. Passenger class is integer in 64 format. Name is an object. Object means normally string here. In there, we don't have a string. So what it is considered, this is very much like a string data. See, the name is this string data. It is considering as object. So wherever you will find a string, it will pack that into the object. Again, sex is a male, female, and something. So again, it's a string packed in the object. This is your age mentioned. You can see it's a floating point number. We can directly see that they have mentioned this way. You can change the data type as well. It's entirely your choice. But right now it is float 64. Okay. The siblings, we can see directly integers are there. Integer, integer. And fair, we can see it's a floating point number. So it's a floating point number. Is it okay, everyone? So it is very important to know
Yes, sir.
the data type of each column. Otherwise, we will not be able to do imputation. And almost same kind of thing you can available with another function is there. This is an attribute of the data type. We can have a function as well known as df.info. Okay, df.info. So if I run, it will give little bit more information than your data types. This it will fetch this df.info will give you more information. Let me show you. See, it told me what happened. This column is non-null, means no null means it has value. This is not a null column, means it is not like every row is empty, something like that. Okay, it tell me same thing, int, object, everything, but it also told me how many rows are there. Okay, it's non-null count. See, read it properly. Non-null count. Tell me the number of rows which are not null. Getting my point? Tell me the number of rows which are not null. It is telling me 887 rows are not null. 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 So it is giving me one more information that how many non-null values are there. Okay. For example, from here itself, you can get an idea. Suppose every of these elements are having 887, but it showed 881 non-null rows. What conclusion can you make? The first row showed 881 non-null rows, and rest of the sorry, first column showed 881 null rows and rest of the column showed 887 non-null rows. Then what conclusion can you make? First one is 881, rest one are 887. What conclusion can you make from this? What this is your now your aptitude change. You should change. You should think like a machine learning engineer. What conclusion can you make now? First one is having 881. Pardon?
No missing value.
No missing value. No. Please see, listen properly. 881 known null values. These are 887 non-null values. What is the conclusion you can make? First one is 881, rest one was 887. So what conclusion can you make?
6 rows are
Having
incomplete.
6 rows are having null values. That's a simple thing. In which column? Survived column. Right or wrong?
Yes, sir.
Right? And always easier way. Immediately go first of all to this. Do this after this, perform this. Means first type df.shape so that you can get an idea. Okay, in my data set, there are 887 rows. I came to know. First thing is clear. Perfect. Now check here. Now check here. It is showing same 887 non-null. Non-null means there are no nulls. There are no nulls in 887. So these are complete in itself. But someone is showing 881 non-null. So you will say total rows are 887. It is showing 881 non-null means it is having in the list of the 6. These are null values. I hope it is okay.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So your aptitude of thinking now should change. How can we do that? What are the things that we can complete now? Okay. Now there is one more thing. Have you ever heard about the EDA? Anyone heard the word EDA? EDA. Have you ever heard this word?
No, sir.
Actually, whenever we are working on the machine learning, the most of the time a machine learning engineer spends is on EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. Understand the words exploratory data analysis means explore your data and analyze that data. Okay, means do the analysis of the data by exploring that. See what is the mean value, what is the variance, what is the mode, example, what are the correlation between different columns. Okay, so there are all these things we are going to do. But one more thing which has been involved and normally employ in my machine learning projects that I used to work, if I do have a lack of time, there is something very, very good, very interesting, very good, which can do that exploratory data analysis for me very easily. Normally, how do? We explore each column one by time. Let me explore survive column, then we explore p class column, then we explore name column, right? Then we find out what is the relationship between these two, what is the relationship between these two. This is the normal way, which is a time consuming. So, but you should learn that. But right now I'm telling you, by a simple library known as pandas profiling, that will be done in fraction of seconds. You will count on the fingers 1, 2, and 3, and the data will be immediately analyzed for you by that library. So let me tell you how to do that. That library is known as pandas profiling. Pandas profiling. Let me go to the Google. Okay, and sorry, where I've opened. Let me go here and type Google and type pandas, or you can type install pandas. By default, it is not installed in the Jupyter notebook. Understand that. Okay, it is not installed in your Jupyter notebook, so you have to install it. If you try to run it, it will not run. Okay, so you type install. Example, I'm telling install pandas profiling in the Jupyter notebook. So you should get a py file. Yeah, this is the location you have to go, py.org, which is a big repository where most of your Python libraries are available. You will find most of your Python libraries. If we are going to use that, you will be finding here. Go there, click on this link. Okay, and just use this one. Okay, and paste it in your Conda prompt. Where is the Conda prompt? Anaconda prompt here. Anaconda. Okay, it's mentioning Anaconda prompt. Go there and just type and paste. Just copy it. It gets copied here and run. I have already installed. That's why I'm not doing that. Okay, just copy it, pip install it directly copies by, you can see copy to clipboard, you have to click it, it will be copied here. And once you go here, you can just paste by Control V, it will be copied here. But I'm not doing that because it is already installed in my system. Okay, if somehow in one of the cases you are not able to do that, do only one thing, do 99% you will be doing that. In case you're not able to do that, just replace this pip with conda. Just replace that pip. In case you suffer, then only you need. In case you suffer, type conda install pandas profiling. In case you suffer, 99% that will be doing for you. In case you suffer, just type conda install pandas profiling. I hope it is okay. If you are working on the system, you can try itself right now. Somebody is working? Is there someone who's working on the system itself or just listening on the mobile right now?
Oh, yes, sir. We are just listening.
This is the thing. Oh, no issue, no issue. Okay, later on you can try on your system. Okay, once you will be doing that. Now see, I'll show you the magic, how beautiful it is. Okay, how good, how beautiful it is. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say from pandas underscore profiling import profile, sorry, report. Okay, just think simple one line I have to write from pandas underscore profiling import profile report. Run it and now see, use this profile report, and within the brackets just pass your data frame, whose analysis you want, whose EDA you want, whose exploratory data analysis you want. Just pass that. Just pass that. For example, I want DF, same Titanic data set which is available here. Okay, I'm running it and you will see let's start doing that. It will take some time, within few seconds it will take. It's working for me. You can see it right now. Very soon I'm going to see the results. It's generating the report. Done. It has been created now. And see the beauty. I'm getting overview, variables, interactions, correlations, missing values, sample. Let me drop it, drag it one by one. Okay. So it is telling me, okay, number of variables are 8. Okay. Number of observations are 887. Okay. Missing values are 0. I don't have any missing values. Missing value, missing cell percentage out of the all cells, how much are the missing percentage? How many duplicate rows are there? 0. How many duplicate rows percentage are there? 0. How much memory size they are occupying? Average record size in memory. Okay. Numeric data types, categorical data types, Boolean data type. This is overview summary. If we scroll down, now coming to the variable, each variable it is taking. Remember, in survived, we had only 2 things, 0 and 1. Remember or not? In survived column in the Titanic, we had only 2 values, 0 and 1. So it is telling me it has only 2 distinct values. Okay. And out of all, these 2 are nothing but after overall, how much 2 will be the percentage will make, showing that 0 missing values. This was memory size. Out of 0 and 1, how many are 0 and how many are 1? Means out of the 887, how many survived? 342 survived and 545 died. Data structure is there. And this is important if you want to find out my data structure is balanced or not. My data set is balanced or not. Okay, you can see how easily I'm getting that. That much easy. Further, I move ahead, showing 0, 545 frequency is 61.4%. Want to see the chart? It is showing in the chart format as well. Out of the 100%, 61.4% are your died person. 38.6% are your dead person. Sorry, 38.6% are your survived person and 61.4% are your dead person who died. Similarly, move to the different. How many passenger class were there? 3 classes were there. Out of the 3 classes, in passenger class 3, 487 ones were there. 1 was 216 was there. 2 was 184 there. So what you can see, you will do analysis. For example, I may ask you, tell me from which class most of the people died. From which class most of the people died? This kind of analysis will be very easy in pandas. Very, very easy you can do. Okay, from this class, most of the people died. Further, you want to see overview, you want to see the chart, just showing me immediately. Okay. You can see that 3 classes are there. Out of the 3 classes, what is the distribution? How easy it is. How easy it is, right? These are all variables they are explaining one by one. But these are interactions. Age with siblings, parents, child, and fear. Okay. So suppose I want to see age with fear. So it will take age here, fear here. Okay. I want to see between age and parents, child. Age will be here. Parents, child will be here. Age and sibling, spouse. Everything is available. Correlations you want to find out, Pearson's correlation, Spearman's correlation, Kendall's correlation, right? Different things are there. Whatever you want to see, how much is the correlation between different variables? As you can see, this is a survived, this is survived, and it is showing 1. Of course, we are checking correlation of same column with the same column, so I'll get a value 1 as well. This is the beauty. This is normally, if you're doing that, it will take 2 to 3 hours, and it is done in a fraction of seconds every analysis for you. Missing value it is showing, no missing values, everyone is 87, 887. In the matrix form you want to see, this is the sample data, first 5 rows or first 10 rows it is showing. Can you see that? First 10 rows. It is showing bottom 10 rows. And showing report generated with Pandas profiling. How quickly I can analyze my data within fraction of seconds, right? I don't think so it even took 1 minute. Correct me if I'm wrong. It didn't even took 1 minute to analyze this data set.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, can I access the plot from this report?
You can access that. You can access that. No issue with that. You can access that. These are the plots. You can access them. Whatever you want to do, you can do that. Actually, what will happen whenever you are building on the machine learning models, you will create a complete report. Suppose you are working for a client, right? So you have to give your presentations to them. Why you are, there are several machine learning models. Example, 6 to 7 machine learning models he has given you. Okay, you try and check on these machine learning models, and he will be asking you, okay, tell me one thing, simple, tell me one thing, why you have selected this particular model. So you have to make some conclusion. Why this model is good for this particular data set. So you have to show him this kind of analysis. Sir, I've done the analysis. This was the reason data set was like this. This model doesn't support it with this type of data set. I have to just stick with that. Right? So very easy thing. How easily I'm able to get my report. Very simple thing. How easy it is, right? And you can even copy paste whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can do that. You can click here. You can see save as option is there, and power is inside. If you save as a web page, save it, use it as you want. Even you want to use a PPT, make it, take a screenshot of this, copy and paste. There are different ways you can use it. Different ways you can use it. You can generate a PDF, this, a complete this of this, everything we have done. You can make a PDF of this. Right? We can make a PDF of this that we did. How? Go here. In my system, I don't know why it is not converting it to the PDF, but how we can do that? Very simple thing. If we are engineers, we can't fall behind, right? If it is, I'll try to show you. If I try to convert it into the PDF, it will throw me an error. Let me run that. See, I get an internal server error. So will I say, okay, it's not possible? I can't do that. I'm an engineer. I can't think like this. I have to find alternate solution. And we have been doing things in the past. Okay, what I will do, I will go here, file, I'll go to the print preview. I know this much smartness should come with the time itself. Okay, type Control P, I'll print it. I know I don't have a printer, so I can convert it into the PDF directly. So PDF will be ready for me, right or wrong? I should not stop. Means things are low, sir, my system is not working. I'm not able to do the PDF generation. But with the time, you should get smarter. Okay, I will be able to do that. Don't worry. If you don't have, I will do some other way. Okay, so I'm printing it. And now suppose I'm saving on the desktop. I'm giving the name as Pandas class 1. Okay, it's a PDF. Saved. I can send to you immediately. It's my hand now. Any doubt in today's class, everyone?
No doubt, sir.
Okay.
No doubt.
It's quite demanding. Honestly speaking, please do practice. Okay, please do practice whatever I have taught you in today's class. Tomorrow we have covered only 5% of the pandas. You can say that because pandas will be used for a whole machine learning classes. That's why I'm saying 5%. So if you forget any of these things, you will suffer while we are working on the machine learning model or doing some kind of advanced analysis, because we haven't even accessed rows now. So tomorrow we will be accessing rows as well, doing different kind of analysis. We will be dealing with missing values, how to deal with the missing values and everything. Okay, so be ready for the same. I'm giving you PDF as well, and I'm giving you IPYNBA file as well. So do practice. Is it fine, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have to practice. That's the only thing that you can do. You have to practice, and whatever I've written here, do it yourself. Okay, everything I've written, practice it yourself. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Okay, type it. Don't read it. Okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. Fine. No, do it yourself. Then only you will be learning. By listening class on the mobile, knowledge doesn't come. Okay, remember that thing. Save as pandas class. Okay, I'm saving it. I'm downloading as a notebook. Been downloaded. Okay. Where is your class? Machine learning hands-on internship. Downloads. Open. Okay, I've sent you IPYNB file. Okay, so I'll advise you, please spare some half an hour or 30 minutes and practice. And remember, don't fall into the trap. You will not be able to access all the websites. You will be able to access only those websites first, which have the tabular structure. You will be able to grab that tables. If you want to access everything, we have different tools available for them, that Beautiful Soup, Selenium, and everything. Okay, and second, this thing is that there are certain websites which won't allow you to access them, because we are fetching their data. Who wants to fetch their data? So they have put the security issues as well. So in certain cases, you won't be able to get that data as well, because there are security issues. Because every website has a file known as robots.txt. Every file. Let me show you. For example, I go to the flipkart.com. Okay, and I type robots.txt. Can you see what it is saying? What is allowed, what is not allowed, disallowed, disallow, everything they are disallowed. So be cautious, be cautious. If you do something unethical, you will be behind the bars. Every site gives you what is allowed, what is not allowed. Okay. See what they have shown. Even they have disallowed the Google bot. Okay. So be cautious before accessing any website. Read its robots.txt. What is allowed, what is not allowed. Although unethically, you can do anything you want, but be cautious. You may be behind the bars. So don't think anything before doing anything wrong, unethical. Is it fine, everyone? So I think I should stop for the day. It was ample, I guess. And hope it was meaningful for everyone.
Yes, sir.
Definitely, sir.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. And we will dive more deeper tomorrow. Okay. I'll dive more deeper. Don't worry. So I'm quitting. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.